Commanding Officer Company Commanding Officer Mander was a super dick to my dad, so dad got back before leaving the service. This happened a few years back. My dad found out he's super allergic to some kind of shrub in Central Texas, Fort Hood, after he was transferred there. As a result, he was restricted to office work and prohibited by Army doctors from outdoor duties. His West Point grad commanding officer was a hyper-warrior kind of dude who detested soldiers who didn't want to train 24/7. Unfortunately, he felt my dad was milking his allergies in order to avoid being a real soldier. My dad was also married and my mom was pregnant with my older sister, a situation that infuriated the captain because #reasons. The commanding officer never, ever passed an opportunity to humiliate my dad by questioning his manhood, doubting his commanding officer commitment to protecting the commanding officer institution, disparaging his duties, etc. The commanding officer would call him out in front of the commanding officer company or debase him in front of higher HQ staff. He'd call the house at 6 a.m. on Sunday and order dad in for bullshit reasons, anything to piss him off. In short, he made his life a living hell. For what it's worth, the first sergeant loved my dad's work performance and said so privately. When my dad got orders to leave active duty, which enraged the commanding officer, he found out that the commanding officer received orders for an assignment that was a notch needed to guarantee promotions as well as other plum jobs. Dad decided to fuck with his official recommanding officers before leaving. As commanding officer company clerk, he had full access to unit personnel files, orders, etc., which meant he also had keys to the building as well. This was during the pre-digital, pre-commanding officer computer era. The night before my dad was to get out, he took all of the captain's personnel folders and mailed them separately and anonymously to various posts around the globe, knowing full well it would take weeks to deliver them to geographically unrelated unit mailrooms around the world that may or may not open the packages in order to return them. It just so happened that the unit was in the field for a 2-week exercise on the day my dad left, which meant a skeleton crew would man the phones and mow lawns until they returned from the field. No one was the wiser for weeks. One of my dad's old poker-playing sergeant buds wrote a few months later telling him that the captain went ballistic, that the missing files seriously damaged the fuckface of a captain's career prospects since some of the files were lost in the system. Therefore, the commanding officer-vated assignment orders were cancelled and the entire personnel recommanding officer had to be recommanding officer instructed manually by the Department of the Army. My dad said it was a teaching moment for the cruel asshole that you should never fuck with your unit clerk, because even chairborne rangers know how to serially wound enemies, foreign and domestic. A little late, but did he ever find out it was you? Did someone tell him or just very strongly hint at it? It was my dad, not me. Not as far as I know. Commanding Officer Mand never found out, though some of his friends figured it out.